So today we have with us Mr. Kunal, who cracked All India 15th rank. So let us talk to him about the procedure and the way in which he has prepared for the civil service exam. So hello, Mr. Kunal.
Sir,
So how was your response after watching, checking your results?
so to be honest, I never believed that I could score a rank under 20. So it was a pleasant surprise. But at the same time, I felt a relief that I'm out of the process and finally I was able to achieve whatever I wanted to with this examination.
So how many attempts you have given? So
So I've given 3 attempts, sir.
three attempts. This is the third one.
Right, sir.
So in the first, second attempts, you cleared prelims, mains.
No, so in the first attempt, I went up to the interview stage and failed by 23 marks.
Yeah.
In the second attempt, I wasn't able to clear prelims itself. And finally, third, I cleared all the stages.
Uh, what is your optional?
So it's political science and
Political
international
science.
relations.
So in your graduation, what was your subject?
So I'm an engineer, sir, from BITS Pilani,
Okay.
specializing in civil engineering. So I chose a completely different option than my graduation.
How scoring was PSIR?
So PSIR itself is a scoring optional, but its benefits spill over to other GS subjects as well,
Exactly.
particularly in GS2. It also has some form of benefits in essay and ethics. So I feel that optional such as PSIR helps you to holistically understand the general study subject as well, which helps you score good marks.
So what your parents do?
So my father is also in the services. He's from the Indian Police Service,
Nice.
and my mother is a homemaker.
Okay. So how was their support during your preparation?
So I think their support was quite pivotal. Having faced failures in 2 attempts, I think a support system was required just to impart courage in me so that I could attempt the third one. And in that case, my father and my mother wholeheartedly supported me during this process.
So what were the distractions you had during the preparation, course of preparation?
Sir, while I was in my first attempt, there was always the distraction of college. My friends were getting placed and they were moving on into the next chapters of life while I was confused as to what to do. And that was my first distraction. The second came after I started my preparation in terms of the social pressures, the internal pressures within me as well to perform better. But after my second attempt, I felt that these distractions are just external in nature and I have to control my emotions in order to get the desired rank. So I left all these distractions away and focused on my examination only.
I think the civils preparation itself will make you to be tough facing these challenges.
So you need to be tough because even if you clear in your first attempt, it takes 2 years. The examination process is such that it makes it a very lengthy process. So you have to be tough both mentally as well as physically if you want to survive the gruesome process that this examination puts you through.
So across the three levels of exam, prelims, mains, and the personality test, which one do you consider to be the most difficult area?
So I think all the three have their unique set of difficulties. But if I were to arrange them in a particular order, I think the toughest would be the prelims, followed by the interview and then the mains.
Okay. So why you consider the mains exam, written exam, to be the easiest among the three?
So because it is quite predictable in nature. See, the syllabus has been quite put in detail, and so one knows what to expect from the examination. The PYQs are also a very excellent way forward, a blueprint that you need to adopt to. And if you stick to the basics, practice the PYQs and keep on writing answers, you will definitely improve. While the other two parts of the examinations have a little bit of uncertainty, and that makes it more challenging to crack.
So if you have to give a 3 points, three top points of your success, what would you identify to be the two topmost three?
Sir, I think hard work because this examination has a vast syllabus which needs to be covered. So hard work in covering the syllabus. Second, sir, I think revision and consolidation, which performs the most important part. And third, sir, I think everybody knows what to read, but I prefer to understand what not to read. And I think that is much more important in this examination. So if these three mantras are kept in mind, I think one would be able to secure a good rank in the examination.
Okay. And fine, if you have to give credit for your success, tell me any 5 people.
So firstly, God.
Yes.
I think Mahadev has always been a pillar of strength. Second, sir, my family, particularly my mother, my father, and my sister. And sir, fifth, I think some of my school friends, school and college friends, that also motivated me and acted as a support system.
See, sometimes since you are talking about the friends, sometimes in some videos, some people, some seniors and failure students say that friends are the potential threat to your preparation. Do you think that?
Obviously, sir, I think any negative distraction, be it friends, be it family members, or be it any other external source, can be an obstacle. But one needs to know when this examination requires a large amount of time. And since we are humans, we are social animals and we need some form of interaction. So, friends can act as a positive catalyst in that sense. But at the same time, if you over rely on interactions, then it may be a counter product. So you need to balance that. I feel that having friends is a good benefit for me.
So, since you are talking about the time, how many hours of preparation you are doing during the preparation?
So I didn't have any fixed amount of time. I basically focused on tasks. So I divided my entire syllabus into small tests, and my target was to finish one test and get good marks. Whatever amount of time is required to get those good marks, I needed to put in. So, for example, in the starting, I needed to put a lot more hours because I need to not only understand the syllabus but also practice it. So, it required a much more amount of time. But at the latter stages, once I understood the process of the examination as well as the nitty gritties, the amount of time reduced drastically.
So, during the three attempts, have you given any test series?
Yes, sir. I joined many test series. One was the Forum IAS MGP test series, and I religiously followed that. And I think that was one of my pillars of success in this examination.
Okay. Across all the 3 years, you have given this.
No, sir, in my third attempt.
Okay.
In my first attempt, because second attempt I wasn't able to clear prelims.
Right.
So there was no point of giving a test series then. In my first attempt, sir, I practiced some of the test series, but they were not so aligned to the demand of the examination.
Yeah.
So after my second attempt, I enrolled myself into the MGP, and it has 48 tests. So I decided to write all of them.
And for the PSIR, what were the books that you are referring?
So there were some coaching notes, Shubharanjan ma'am notes that I followed. Apart from that, sir, there were specific books for specific sections. For example, in section 1, part A, I followed O.P. Gopa's book and Andrew Haywood's political ideologies, apart from the major text. In paper 1, section B, I followed D.D. Basu's book for constitution, Oxford Handbook of Indian Politics, that was another part that I followed. For paper 2, section A, I followed Baylis and Smith, Globalization of Politics, and Andrew Haywood's Global Politics. And for paper 2, section B, I followed Does the Elephant Dance by David Malone, Asian Geopolitics by Shiv Shankar Menon, Choices, The India Way by H. Shankar. So these were some of the books that I frequently used to read apart from the preparation strategy.
So, can there be any single reference book for the paper 1 and one book for the paper 2 like that?
I don't think so, sir.
Okay.
Because there are some aspects which are better covered in some books, while in some other, there may be some others. So one needs to be very smart and pick and choose what one needs to read from the best available resources. Don't try to restrict yourself to one particular source.
So, during the GS preparation and common papers, general essay is one area which is very challenging.
So,
And many people think that general studies and optional will be useful to answer a general essay. Do you think the same?
obviously, sir, I feel that this time I did not make any clear distinction between my optional and my essay and GS2 specifically. In my entire journey, I've never read general studies paper 2. I've always referred to political science and international relations as my base study. And in both of the years, I scored very good. In my first attempt, I scored 120. While this time, I'm close to being the All India topper, and I scored 134. So what worked for me was to use my optional language, optional paper, uh, content, and channelize it according to the demand of the question that has been put forward in the general studies paper 2. So one needs to develop that skill to use it smartly, and that is what is required.
So, in the general essay, did you mention the dimensions or argumentation?
Sir, I feel that the approach to general studies too is different from optional. So I wrote in points and I tried to bifurcate the question into various dimensions as per the demand of the question and try to address them separately. So this made my structure more coherent in nature.
So, how was your interview experience?
Sir, I think for each and every candidate, the interview is perhaps the most unique experience. In my first attempt, I scored very poorly. I scored 160 marks. despite of the fact that I had more than 45-50 days of preparation and gave more than 30 mock interviews. In my second attempt, my interview was on the very first day. It was on 2nd of January itself. So I did not have any time for preparation. So I just read my basic DAF and went for the interview. And this time I decided I would be honest and organic. So whatever comes to my heart, that would be my base for the answering. I did not try to emulate anybody. I did not try to mold my personality into something which wasn't the case. And I gave my heart out in the interview, and fortunately it worked for me this time.
So how many marks you got in the interview?
So this time I got 193.
190. So is there any specific question where you thought that this question would have made me to crack the civil service
In interview, sir?
in the interview?
So I cannot put one question because the board judges you from multiple questions. I think it was a culmination of my personality that I showed throughout the questions, that I was passionate about the civil services, that I've always dreamt of it and I wanted to convert it into reality, that that I have integrity, that I have that innocence and honesty of purpose that is required for the examination, and that I'm not afraid of taking courageous decisions. So I think these were the basic pillars that I wanted to showcase in my personality in the interview, and that worked for me this time.
So how was your experience with the mock interview?
So my mock interviews has always been very opposite of what the actual interview is. In my first attempt, everybody was giving me 200 plus, and I got 160. This time, the few mock interviews that I gave, they were giving me 160, 170, and I got 193.
Okay.
So
That's a completely
it has been
different.
completely opposite in both the cases. So I believe that one should take the mock interview experience with a pinch of salt, analyze the strengths that they have pointed out, the weaknesses that they want you to improve, and stick to your ability. Don't try to mold your personality based upon the perception of the board, which many people try to do. Be honest and be original, and I think that would pay off in the actual.
So is there any suggestion that you wanted to give to the next generation aspirants?
So I think one should be patient and one should always trust their hard work. Honest hard work always pays. I believe that, and if there are many subjectivities in this particular process, but the end result is always objective. So if you work hard, if you put in the long hours, you will surely be able to crack the examination.
Finally, one thing. In the recent times, I have seen that so many people are preparing for the civil service right from the graduation level.
Sir.
So do you think that that is a correct approach?
So I think graduation is meant to enjoy. They are meant to explore the different dimensions that you have. Obviously, one could touch upon the basic aspects like reading newspaper, which every citizen should do, regardless of whether they are doing graduation or not. So that particular aspect could be started, but full-fledged study, reading the course books, I don't think that is advisable at such an early stage.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, sir.